Sorry about that. Didn't mean to give you any loudspeaker noise going on there, but wanted to test microphones. And when you're running all this by yourself, you have to kind of remember to do things as often as you can and test things before there's a problem. Hopefully it doesn't sound like I'm speaking into a coffee can here. So give me just 1 second to make certain that we are getting audio. Okay, Twitch sounds good. We are live on YouTube, and YouTube sounds good as well. Okay, so far so good on that. All right, so time is coming up on 10 before 10 Eastern Time. It is Wednesday the 21st. I am Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek with an update on the forecast. This is our video weather blog. We are live for right now, but you may be watching this overnight on the repeat from our website or our app, or again on our social media pages out there. So again, thanks to everybody who stopped by last night asking questions about what our situation is going to be. The possibility of winter weather is a very real one, but it's an idea that is in flux at this point, which is completely and totally normal. We can get, again, big changes. You may have seen a lot of weathercasters out there, some meteorologists, some not, talking about 300 hours out, major Category 6 blizzard, whatever that means, to strike with 15 feet of snow, and then as you get closer to the event, you wind up with not that much whatsoever. So yes, it looks like we are getting winter weather, but in just the last 24 hours, it looks like things have kind of, as usual, kind of self-corrected, and it is possible that we may be looking at much less in the way of winter weather than we did. But please remember that, again, if you've never dealt with winter weather in any great capacity, it doesn't take much to ruin a set of travel plans or to really wake you up when it comes to things like, oh, it won't be that bad, I don't have anything to worry about. Please remember that, because as of right now, again, so far things are about 48 hours away from starting, but we really, especially if you're traveling, we really do need to pay attention to the forecast and be very weather aware, again, for the mindfulness about things that can change, and more, again, into what's maybe we may be looking at in the course of the near future. So what does all that mean? It means I should stop talking and blathering away here and go ahead and get started and give you an idea as to what is going on. So for right now, looking out across portions of the area, we've got some gray, drizzly conditions. This is Broad Street, News 12 Studios, looking back toward downtown. Kind of hard to see the lights right now with the drizzle coming down in downtown. We don't have anything really in the way of huge amounts of rainfall. This is not a deluge. This is not anything having to do with flash flooding. We might, if we're lucky, see a rumble of thunder, hear a rumble of thunder, see a flash of lightning. Downtown Chattanooga, all of our cameras available on the EPB Fiber Optics WeatherCam network. So not much, again, outside of that drizzle and the occasional breeze. You can see the flags up on top of the buildings waving out there. Traffic not bad tonight. Quick check of 2475 in south central Chattanooga with the Chattanooga Airport right over the horizon here. You can see the spray being kicked up by the vehicles at the 2475 Interstate Junction. Tomahawk crane and rigging camera, again, showing the rain coming down. Drizzle, patchy light fog, but visibility not too bad. We can almost see the lights of Signal Mountain off in the distance. Temperatures have dropped a little bit in the last couple of hours, but we are still well above freezing. So we do have, again, less to worry about in the way of frozen precipitation tonight. That, again, could change as we go into tomorrow morning. Into around portions of the area north of us, into Kentucky, Indiana, parts of Ohio, and the Virginias could see some winter weather with this passing system that's giving us the chances of rain. But so far, again, that's about all that we really have to deal with as we go into tonight. Quick check of the school day forecast for tomorrow. There might be the potential of, again, some scattered drizzle left over in the morning, but we're just not looking at too much of anything out there to cause too much of any problems in the morning, and definitely above freezing. Maybe a leftover drizzle around lunchtime, but less of a potential than the morning. And then temperatures like today, very close to where they were, right about normal, back in the lower 50s. So again, very much on the nice side as we go into the forecast for tomorrow. No major problems seen on Thursday, and for Friday, maybe some more showers, but no huge amounts of problems again showing up. Overnight tonight, heading out again for a snack. Temperatures will be chilly. There will be chances of rain all the way through the evening. More at times, less at others, and chilly and a little breezy, but it is going to be, again, kind of soggy. So if you're heading out for that midnight snack, definitely want to take that umbrella with you because that will come in very handy. Now, we do have just a little bit of rain showers taking place. We do not have much of anything going on in the way of huge amounts of precipitation, but we do have some very, very trace amounts of rainfall. That, again, is going to be sticking around off and on throughout the rest of the evening into this morning. Heavier rainfall across northwest Georgia and into southeast Tennessee, where you see the yellow and orange colors, and down into eastern parts of Alabama along and on either side of I-59. Not much more than this. Again, some lingering drizzle overnight, but no winter weather is going to be expected from all of this. Our storm has not really formed just yet. I say not really, because the cold front that's going to help to create that area of low pressure is sitting just to our west, stirring up this moisture that we see here for this evening. And again, starting to see some pink and blue in the colors into parts of the Appalachians. Not much, but a few, and more potential of that as we go into the rest of the forecast, especially into the next few days. Now, that cold front stretching all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico will be helping. That tail section of the front will be developing into an area of low pressure. That will move up out of the western Gulf and head our direction as we get into the next few days. Here's where things have changed in the last couple of days. The forecast was showing that this developing area of low pressure was going to be holding well down to around the Gulf Coast. So Friday afternoon, not that much going on, maybe some patchy drizzle out there. And then as we look into Saturday morning, that warm front begins to deliver more moisture up this direction. Blue, again, is snowfall. Pink is the possibility of a mixture of rain, sleet, freezing rain, and snow, any combination of that there. And that starts moving into the area. But this forecast here is showing that moisture moving in much later than the forecast we told you about 24 hours ago. So that's important to note, that the models are starting to slow this low pressure system down a little bit. I think for right now, again, there's going to be more fluctuations in the forecast that we have been seeing for the last couple of days, and we'll continue to see that, and that is absolutely normal, 100% for these systems to speed up, slow down, get more moisture, drop more moisture off, dry air coming in at one level. All those changes can affect the forecast on there. So that is something to remember with winter weather. The forecast that you pick up on a week and a half ago is not going to be the same before the storm comes knocking on our doorstep. So we have to be adaptable to those changes. We have to be weather aware, and we have to be paying very close attention to what may be coming our direction. If the situation were just a little bit different, if there was more energy, a little bit more lift, we got the moisture, we just need the warmer temperatures and a little bit more energy, this could have been a major severe weather scenario. Not happening this time around, but winter weather could be a problem. Again, as we go, Friday evening, not that much happens. We were expecting to have more moving in Friday night into Saturday. Now it looks like things are going to be pushed back to about Saturday morning before we start seeing the various types of precipitation, and we'll delineate that in just a little bit. Low pressure lifts up over the delta into the southeast United States, and then this model run by early Sunday morning has that area of low pressure right smack up into the News 12 viewing area, Chattanooga and southeast Tennessee. And that, excuse me, that is a cold, pardon me, that I'm trying to get over. Apologies for all that snorting on there. We do not, again, have any guarantee for right now that this is the way it's going to stay. We may see even more changes coming up as we get into the next couple of days, especially right at and to just into right about forecast time for Saturday and Sunday. But this little intrusion here, showing the storm system lifting even farther north, has done a very good job in pushing our snowfall potential way up to the north. Again, blue is snow, rain is green and yellow, and that mixture of precipitation in there, the various amounts of types of precipitation, that is where we may see the best possibility of problems, even as far down as I-20 and as far north as northeast and north middle Tennessee. Then everything gets cleared out as cold, dry air sweeps in, and by Monday morning, that should do it for the precipitation as that system bunches up over parts of the East Coast. But then the cold air comes in and then locks all that moisture on the ground into place, so that we could see Monday morning and Tuesday morning some very cold numbers. Note, these are not snowfall amounts, these are temperatures, and by Monday morning, single digits above zero will be on the way. So we've got, again, the potential for some fairly big problems out there. Now, let me just give you an overall picture. The amount of colors on this are kind of garish when you take a look at it. Again, blue is snow, purple freezing rain, and this peachy orange color is the potential of sleet pellets. Mix all these together, and that's what you wind up with. The numbers you see on here are for snowfall estimations, and again, they're just estimations for right now. I would take everything on these maps with a ginormous grain of salt, just to be on the safe side. But Saturday morning, this appears to be our intrusion time as we start seeing things move our direction into and around dawn patrol Saturday. This originally was moving our way by Friday night. That has now slowed down considerably, and this is all the precipitation that we're expecting. We'll separate things out here in just a little bit. In the meantime, into Saturday evening, a combination of sleet and freezing rain. Snow gets shoved north of I-40 for the most part, and then right through our area, down to Atlanta, down to Birmingham, over to Charlotte. That is where we get another round of what looks to be, could be some significant amounts of either ice pellets or freezing rain. But notice down here, this gap was not all that strong last night, and now we're starting to see even less precipitation. There'll be more rain down here because it'll just be too warm for anything but liquid precipitation. Right now, that riding up on top of the cold air, that again will be the best potential for anything freezing and or sleet pellet frozen, and that goes right across the area, ending as we get into and around Monday morning. And again, the numbers here are for snow potential, and these numbers, just about 24 hours ago, we were looking at 24 to 36 inches of snow. Not seeing that anymore. So again, the closer you get to the event, the truth will out, and we start seeing more potential of what is really going to be happening out there. So that snow that was down to the Tennessee state southern line is now well back to our north. Western Kentucky, looking at the National Weather Service in Memphis earlier, they were saying better potential of snow north of the Tennessee line. Best potential in the Mid-South would be in northeast Arkansas, extreme northwest Tennessee, and back into southeast Missouri. In those areas, they were saying somewhere around 6 to 10 inches of snow plus. That little snow band right there, again, I would not be surprised to see that extend over. But as we extend this out into Monday morning, there might be some residual snow shaping up as the system leaves the area. But for right now, the chances of snow, according to what we know on these models, has really been shoved back to the north by quite a lot. So if we get anything, this looks to be more of a freezing rain or sleet potential going on. Some snow, yes, not a lot in this. So freezing rain first, again, looking into Saturday morning very early. Things start to move our direction and get again a little bit closer, giving us the potential of that freezing rain out there. And that freezing rain will continue into Saturday night, Sunday morning, as we get a little bit closer to around Dawn Patrol Sunday. Most of that is concentrated in southeast Tennessee, looking at maybe from middle Tennessee to southeast Tennessee, 1/4 of an inch to as much as close to 1/2 an inch of freezing rain glaze. Not quite as much as back toward Greenville, Mississippi. They're looking at 3/4 of an inch there, and less on this forecast for Atlanta. But remember, it doesn't take much glaze to get things slipping and sliding. So Atlanta, Birmingham, Nashville, Knoxville, the Carolinas could see the potential of some very big problems with just a teeny tiny amount of that glaze on the roadways. And that goes again from the Four Corners all the way to Chesapeake Bay. So we're looking at some very dicey travel if this forecast comes to fruition. Now that, again, freezing rain. What about sleet, ice, pellets? Again, starting off Saturday morning, that's where things start to move in, but most of that is back from Middle Tennessee into the Mississippi Valley. That continues to overspread the area as the temperatures drop. The liquid water above freezes into ice pellets and comes down to the ground. And even the numbers that we see here of around 1/10 to as much as 1/4 of an inch in some of these areas, these numbers that you're looking at in this forecast are about half as much as what we saw in yesterday's forecast. So there's been a definite trend downwards in amount and also in the spin and the northern position of the storm system causing all this. Notice that area right down here. We don't have the rain on the map, but if it's going to be too warm for rain, it'll be coming up close to I-20 and maybe even mixing in with some rain, snow, and freezing rain as we go from Saturday night into Sunday. So while there is not a huge potential or as huge a potential as what we saw 24, 36, 48 hours ago on the forecast models, there is still the potential of some disruption out there. And looking at that potential in the next few days is what we want everyone to be aware of, which is why the National Weather Service will be issuing future perfect tense, if I'm not mistaken there. Issuing, it's not in effect now, but it will be as we go from Friday night into Sunday evening. All the News 12 viewing area counties will be under a winter storm watch. Again, that's for winter weather that will be occurring in about the next 36 to 48 hours. The National Weather Service issues these advisories sometimes days ahead of schedule to make certain you, the audience, the public, know more about what may be heading our direction, and therefore you can prepare for it. And that's the important thing, especially in situations like this. Now, on the wide scale, you can see that these winter storm watches go from the Virginias, the Carolinas, and if we zoom out a little bit, you can see that they go all the way back to the Four Corners area, just east of Phoenix, and all the way across the southeastern United States. They're winter storm watches. It's a good possibility that these will be upgraded to a winter storm warning, which means winter weather is imminent within about 12 to 18 hours. That has not happened yet. Back to the north, those advisories you see up here, again, extreme cold warnings, gale warnings, winter weather advisories, that's due to that passing Alberta Clipper system over the Great Lakes, and that is not affecting us. Meanwhile, back where we are, we see the potential again of that winter storm watch becoming a winter storm warning as we get into and around the area of Friday night, Saturday morning. That is the potential that we see again for right now. Could this change? Could these advisory counties change? Yes. Could the forecast change entirely? Could we get the snow back? Yes. Could we get more rain added in there? Yes. All of that is, in fact, possible. Again, this is just a big fluctuating event. And again, I urge anybody and everybody that if you have not tried to do your own winter weather forecasting, I would wholeheartedly recommend it as a very good ego puncturing exercise, because of the fact that there's so many variables involved in these things that just putting together the potential of what could go wrong, that's what we're dealing with here, again, with the changes of the motion of the storm system, enough moisture, enough dry air, enough cold air, enough warm air, mixing all that together, and you got a recipe for a variety of conditions and amounts and types of precipitation that it kind of boggles the mind in a way. But what it's taught us as meteorologists is that, again, the focus needs to be on the potential of what may be coming our direction. That is what we really need to pay attention to. And, of course, the idea about safety, making certain that everybody knows that it's time to stay safe in this winter weather scenario. If things do start to get dicey out there, it's going to be necessary to, if you can, cancel or postpone any plans that you have for travel. You don't want to get out on the roadway 10 minutes, 15 minutes away from your house, slide off the roadway, and you're stuck there for a couple of days when you could have easily been stuck staying right at home. So it's really something to consider, if at all possible, for safety's sake out there. And again, this could develop into a pretty serious situation as we go into the course of the next couple of days. So it really is time to pay attention to the forecast. We say it all the time that it's time to be weather aware, and we mean that. That is something to really consider on here to make certain that you are aware of the situation. If you know about the storm before you drive down the roadway in the middle of it, you may save yourself a very big amount of headache. So again, please consider your personal safety first. That trip to the store, try to get everything errand related done ahead of time before Friday sunset. Again, by Saturday morning, it's going to be too late, and you may be looking at some problems out there, getting stuck in a traffic jam from a bunch of folks that should not have been out in the first place. And here's another thing. If you have never driven on slick roadways, maybe you've moved here from warmer parts of the country, you really need to reconsider going out at all. I grew up in northeast Kansas, and we got some pretty nasty weather during the winter season. That's how I learned how to drive. So that is something to really consider, that if you've never driven in this type of weather before, please, 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 please reconsider the idea of doing so, because of the fact that this is nothing to be messing around with. I'm used to it. I've been doing this for a number of years. I'm not going to say how many because that would give away my age, and I really don't want to do that. But in the meantime, what it means is, again, a plea for everybody out there to make certain that they are doing a very good job of paying attention to safety first and safety always. Anywhere in this area, we could be seeing, again, the potential of the possibility of winter conditions as we go into the next couple of days, especially starting off Friday night. So if you have any travel plans, you may need to postpone, you may need to cancel. For safety's sake, it's not a bad idea. So just something to consider. Add to that, as the temperatures fall into next week, we could be looking at the potential of some problems out there when it comes to the temperatures locking all that moisture that falls from the sky in place down toward the surface. And I'll show you what we mean here in just a couple of seconds. Island Cove, the view of Tennessee 58, oncoming traffic, kind of out of focus here with some rain on the camera lens, but it gives you a view of Lake Chickamauga, and again, all of our cameras available on the EPB Fiber Optics WeatherCam network. All right, so timing this out. Rain chances tomorrow morning. Again, Thursday into Friday, could be some scattered showers out there. Not looking at a lot, but it is still possible. Then it gets chilly on Friday, also kind of windy out there. Temperatures go below freezing Friday night into Saturday. So whatever moisture we have in the way of rain changes over to a snow, freezing rain, sleet mixture. That may slack off a little bit as we go towards Saturday. Again, notice the temperatures there just a bit above freezing, and that happens after we drop below freezing Sunday night with or Saturday night, Sunday morning with another round of winter weather possible. And then on Sunday, we go back above freezing before the main thrust of this colder weather makes its way on through. Take a look down here around Monday morning. That powerful punch of cold air arrives. Temperatures on Monday morning will be in the teens, which means all of that moisture from earlier during the weekend will be locked in place, and that means we could see a lot of slick spots Monday morning. And look at the temperatures on Tuesday morning, even colder than that in the single digits, which means if we get above freezing on Monday, which we're not expected to, even if we get enough sunshine to melt some of that flash freezes again Tuesday morning. So right now, I'm not advising anybody on what to do. That's not my job. My job is to present the forecast. So any administrators, any teachers out there who are saying, well, he said to do this, no, I most certainly did not. That's up to the school districts and the administrators as to their judgment call as to what needs to be done. I'm just saying that given conditions like this on Monday into Tuesday, it's a very good possibility that Monday, Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday morning, we could see some slowdowns on the traffic for the commute. We could see some possible delays of the start of school, and I would just bet that there's going to be some cancellations out there. Not just school, but also church services and all sorts of other things going on early part of next week because of everything that fell here and then freezes in place with some bitterly cold temperatures going on as we get into and around the area of early next week. So school closings and cancellations and delays, I think, will be a very good possibility. So now's the time to really pay attention to what's going on where it comes to the weather situation out there. Again, all of these numbers change daily. So does the possibility of what we may look for. We'll bring that information to you as we see the changes. So now is the time to be weather aware. Keep it tuned to News 12, and we'll let you know more about that in the course of the next few days. We also want to be don't want to be remiss in not mentioning that right now, between January and April, that is the prime time for severe weather in our area. So now, when nothing is going on, that's an excellent time to get ready for severe weather. Tomorrow night, or if you're watching this on Thursday, tonight, at 6 p.m., if you live in Jackson and DeKalb counties, the northeast corner of Alabama, tonight at 6 p.m. Central at Northeast Alabama Community College in Rainsville, the National Weather Service in Huntsville will be holding their next in-person Skywarn Storm Spotter volunteer training session. These are excellent to go to. They're totally free. They're paid for by your tax dollars and my tax dollars, and they help members of the public. You're trained by the members of the National Weather Service themselves. Again, for those forecast offices that actually are able to do the training anymore, budget cuts have kind of thrown a spanner in the works there to a lot of places, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But in the meantime, if you live in Northeast Alabama, if you live around this area, please go to weather.gov/HUN. That again will take you to the Skywarn page. It's totally free, but for a head count purpose, please register with the National Weather Service in Huntsville at weather.gov/HUN, and that will make certain that they know that they have enough chairs and enough room for everybody to set up and learn in. And if there's too many people, they may have to turn them away and reschedule another meeting for people to come learn at. Again, this teaches you the safety of what to do during severe weather. It teaches you what to look for. It teaches you what to communicate back to the National Weather Service if you're using just a cell phone. If you're an amateur radio operator, this is something that will come in very handy that you can, some Weather Service offices have a weather radio rig or station set up where you can send the information in by wireless to get the information into them. Your information can help plot out where the severe weather is and where it may be going, and that can help others in the community stay safe. The more people we have doing Skywarn, the safer we all are. That's just how it all works on there. Now, that being said, the National Weather Service was earlier not going to be able to do a training session for Hamilton County and the Chattanooga proper area. That appears to have changed. They have one scheduled for Monday, February 26th at the Harrison Community Center in Harrison, Tennessee. Again, please go to the website, totally free, but please register, again, to be polite, for a head count, and mark this down on your calendars. We'll put this on our social media pages so you can be reminded of this. But Monday, February 26th, if you live in and around Hamilton County and Chattanooga, Tennessee, this is one opportunity that you have to take the training. Earlier, and this was just announced about a week or so ago, because of the budget cuts from the Department of Government Efficiency and all sorts of other problems in the federal government, a lot of National Weather Service offices have been having trouble regarding getting meteorologists able to go to these in-person meetings to train the public. The Chattanooga Amateur Radio Club has volunteered to conduct their own Skywarn spotter training session with the information from the National Weather Service. That will be held in the same place that I just talked about, the Harrison Community Center. This one will be held a little bit earlier and on a Saturday morning, again in Harrison, Tennessee, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, Saturday, January 31st. Courtesy again of the Chattanooga Amateur Radio Club. If you would like to attend this meeting, again, totally free, but you would need to go to W4AM Whiskey 4 Alpha Mike.net if you'd like to know more. You don't have to be a ham radio operator to be a part of this. You can just show up and take the course and become a Skywarn spotter that way. But while you're there and speaking as an amateur radio operator, KG4GKE, my license, and has been since almost 25 years now. I just realized that I had that anniversaries coming up. If you'd like to inquire about amateur radio, this would be a golden opportunity to do so. And what you see here is, again, what looks to be kind of a kitschy catchphrase. It is so much more than that. When all else fails, amateur radio works. During a disaster, these are the people who rush in to get communications set up, whether it's a terrorist attack, whether it's a hurricane or an earthquake or anything like that. Amateur radio is more than just a hobby. It is really a way of life, and it does a great job in helping the community out when members of the community need it the most. So you can inquire about Skywarn, you can inquire about getting your license. I believe it only costs $15 to obtain your lifetime license from the FCC. You need to renew it every 10 years. You do not need to know Morse code. That is not a requirement anymore. But you can pass that if you want to. I need to practice. I'm at 5 words per minute. I need to get better. Haven't had a chance to do that for a while. Many clubs like this offer volunteer tutoring and testing. So something to think about there. But in the meantime, please consider being a Skywarn volunteer to make certain, again, that you are up to date on communication and helping your community out. Mentioned this last night. Again, now would be a good time to download the MPing app, Meteorological Phenomenon Identification Near the Ground. It's a free app from the National Severe Storms Laboratory. If you would like to do so, all you do is download it, and then when precipitation starts to fall, you can report what you see. Radar is great, satellites are great, our computer models are great, but what needs help is ground truth. You being able to tell the National Weather Service, researchers, meteorologists, what you see on the ground can help make better forecasts in the future. It's called citizen science. You don't need a PhD to help out with these projects. Sometimes all you need is a pencil and a piece of paper. So if you would like to do some citizen science, if you would like to get your kids involved when they're stuck indoors and can't go back out again because it's too cold and too sloppy, download this app and help them learn about various types of precipitation, about science of meteorology, about so many other things. Great opportunity to learn a lot just by downloading a free app. Again, that's MPING, MPING, from the National Severe Storms Laboratory. More information at nssl.noaa.gov or at our website down below the forecast. Check in to see what is available there. Great thing to do with snowy weather on approach for the next couple of days. One more time around with the forecast. Again, drizzly and foggy for right now. We're wrapping this up at about 20 after 10 Eastern time. Should be just showers tomorrow, and then the main problem is going to start Friday night into around Saturday morning. And that's when the temperatures are going to be conducive for more precipitation coming down. Only thing we have tonight is, again, you see back here, just rain showers, and so far that is about it. But as we go into the course of the next few days, big changes are going to be taking place. So definitely, again, want to stay up to date on the forecast, what is going on, and how you can get prepared for, again, everything out there. Something to really consider, especially in the course of the next couple of days. Winter weather, again, is going to be a problem out there, and the changes are going to be numerous and probably a little unexpected. Things are going to change in ways we may not have counted on before, so now is really the time to make certain that we are exactly doing our best to pay attention to what is going on across much of the area. So for right now, again, the best thing that can be offered is to be prepared by being informed and make certain that you have an idea as to what is happening so you can prepare ahead for the potential of, again, this winter weather heading our direction. So please, I beg you, stay tuned to News 12 or whatever your weather source is. Again, please make certain that you've got accurate, updated information, your weather radio, local media like News 12, National Weather Service, anything like that. That will really help, because being ahead of the game and knowing what's coming your direction can make the difference between staying at home, being safe and cozy and out of the storm's wrath, and being stuck on a roadway someplace hoping that a tow truck can reach you by tomorrow. So that really does need to be considered out there. So again, please consider that. Keep an eye on the situation and stay tuned to News 12. We'll have more tonight at 11. Chip Chapman will have more in the morning. So definitely want to stay tuned, because there's probably going to be a lot of changes into early tomorrow morning as well. So definitely want to make certain you are up to date on all of that. I'll have more again as we go into tomorrow. And as the storm begins to really head our direction by Friday night, we've got about, give or take, 36 to about 48 hours before this system really comes together, and a lot will change between now and then. So please keep up to date on the forecast there. Chip will start at 5 a.m. Eastern. So again, please keep tuned to his forecast on the morning show, and I'll be back through the afternoon and evening with more details as to what's happening. Thanks to everybody for watching on Twitch and YouTube. Stay tuned for more with News 12 tonight. Email address and our website down at the lower right-hand corner of your screen if you have any questions directly. And again, we'll have more as this winter storm wraps up and heads our way. Thanks for joining us for Weather Overtime for Peak of the Week Wednesday. And stay tuned for updates. Please be weather aware and stick around for a lot more from News 12 in the next couple of days.